My grandfather probably gave me the best advice anybody's ever given me. He looked at me one day and said, "Hey, I want you to get an education." And that always stuck with me. And so education is one of those things that I always thought, man, I could probably do that. That would be really cool. And I kept thinking, man, one day I'd really like to do this. And it took a few years, but once I got that opportunity, I took full advantage of it. And so every day I'm kind of motivated by the fact that this was my job that I wanted. I wanted to do this. I wanted to teach. And so I keep reminding myself of that, like there's a purpose for me being here. So a word that uses my teaching style is a word that I made up. It's called SARSA, and it stands for story, anticipation, reality, surprise, action. The surprise element is probably one of my favorite. Give them something different than expected. So with Andrew Jackson, he once, while president, nearly killed a man with a stick that tried to assassinate him. It's 1% of a fact about somebody, they hook onto those. They love those, and now they're listening for them. And if you can hook them on a 1 or 2% goofy fact, they'll come back for the rest of it. So Artifacts is the newest tool in my teacher tool belt. So we get an item that our students today are not familiar with. Some of the artifacts we have are legitimately from 100 years ago or 200 years ago, and the students have to write down their observations. It gets them engaged in asking critical questions. And what's been really cool with Artifacts is other activities that we do. I've seen their critical question increase. They're asking questions that I've never heard them ask in 10 years. So the relationship I build with students, as I described myself before, I'm like a stand-up comedian that does 5 shows a day over historical topics, and it kind of brings their guard down a little bit. But in the process, they get to know about me, and I get to know about them. And so that little back and forth that we had, it's kind of the natural flow of things. And so it's actually really cool that we just somehow do that, and that's how I build those relationships with the kids. When they came in that day with that poster during my second hour class, and all the principals walked in the room to tell me I was Central Junior High Teacher of the Year, the immediate word that came to my mind, and it's the word that has progressed all the way into finding out in January that I'm in the finals, humble. It is incredibly humbling because this school is stacked with phenomenal teachers. And in the past 4 years, I've been able to thrive and do things I never would have thought I'd been able to do in education. It was the same stuff that I told people years ago, like, hey, this is why I want to go to education. I'm going to do something really cool, just wait and see. And here I'm able to do that.